Welcome to another episode of This Was Supposed to Be Easy.
We've had these conversations on at least 1,000 car rides and thought it might be time for other people to join us. This is Cheryl.
And my name's Amy.
Today, we have ranchologist Ashley with us from The Dressing Room. You can find her at dressingapproved.com as well as on TikTok and probably a whole lot of other places that we are going to let Ashley tell us about. We brought her on today because she has had so many experiences starting a business, working on building community, working professionally inside of business systems. And so I am just going to turn it over to you, Ashley, and ask you to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing.
Great. Thanks for having me on. I feel like I'm being interviewed for a job, but in a good way.
Don't sweat. Don't sweat.
You got it. You already got the position. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Ashley. I have the TikTok handle is Dressing Approved. On Instagram, it is The Ranchologist.
Which is a great title. I think that's awesome.
Thank you. I have had a lot of experiences starting businesses, not a lot of success going forward with a lot of businesses, but this one is kind of like a passion project that I've turned into a business. So it makes it feel a little bit different. And I've found a lot of people wanting the information that I had anyway. So I figured might as well make it official and start a website.
I love, as you're talking about the different titles and, I'm thinking about ranchologist and my niece who literally trains horses and a ranch. And then I think about the dressing room and I'm all about boutique shopping. And we are talking about neither of these. And so I will close my mouth now, Amy, and let you ask that next question.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's kind of where I was going. We are talking about salad dressing and all the
way to let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I can put it back in, but tell us about how this came to be your passion project. Is this new for you or is this a lifelong love of salad dressing?
Sadly, a lifelong love. I have a body built on ranch and I feel very qualified to talk about this topic. I have a lot of feelings when it comes to ranch and a lot of the failings that the restaurant industry is doing. I do believe that they could increase their sales if they would just take some of my advice and get better ranch. But yeah, I love ranch and I'm passionate about good ranch because not all ranch is created equal.
I am married to a ranch lover, but not on the foodie side, right? It's like I'm a foodie. I love to go to brunch. I love to try new foods. I love to enjoy really high quality taste. My husband puts ranch on everything. I mean, maybe this is you too. Everything. If I make taco salad, he adds ranch to the taco salad. If I make pizza, he puts ranch on top of the pizza. He puts ranch on everything, but it's not the connoisseur kind of way, right? Like he is all about
Like a Hidden Valley bottled.
Yeah, like Hidden Valley Ranch, which I know is a part of your, let's just call it your rating system in terms of, when we're at home and we're pulling ranch out of the fridge, that's one thing, but that's not what you're hoping for, I believe, when you go to a restaurant.
No, it is something I actually avoid. And people would be interested to know, maybe, I don't know, fun fact about me, I don't eat a lot of ranch at home. I don't have a lot of food items that I consume at home unless it's like vegetables. But then I do go buy a bottle from Jets. Jets has really good ranch. It's not
like Jets Pizza?
Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic ranch. They are on my rating scale a top-notch ranch. Well, I don't know what you would call it there, but they are top notch.
But I mean, seriously, okay, so Kevin's not the only person that puts ranch on his pizza, obviously.
Oh no, pizza is a perfect ranch item. It's more of the food item is kind of like a vehicle to get the ranch to my mouth. I don't want to just squirt ranch in my mouth. That's gross. I don't want to just put ranch on my finger. That kind of grosses me out too. I want something that is going to assist that. It's a tool.
It's like cooking with wine. Sometimes I even put a little in the food, right? So you're utilizing the food to get the ranch to you. Love it.
Do you have a favorite item that you like to put the ranch on then as the the
Mm.
vehicle.
Any sort of bar food. I love anything fried is top tier for ranch. Like, I don't really like fried mushrooms, but I can eat them if ranch is involved. Good ranch is involved. Any sort of vegetable, I like ranch with. I mean, maybe not any sort, but most. I'd say most. Obviously, salads, pizza, chicken. I love ranch with chicken. I don't put it on a hot dog.
Oh,
Maybe I should
yeah.
try it, but that doesn't sound appealing to me. But
Mm-mm.
I have put cream cheese on a hot dog before with the fancy hot dog place.
Yeah.
It could work. I'm not opposed. Maybe I'll try that out. But there isn't a ton of food that I wouldn't try it with, but there are my go-tos of more bar food or vegetable based.
Got it. So this is your passion project, and it's about the ranch that you get when you're eating out. What are people going to find when they visit your social media or your website?
So it kind of started along with going to restaurants. I eat a lot, more than I should, but why not capitalize on that? I'm already out. I might as well let some people know about some things happening. People would often ask me, hey, does this place have good ranch? Because they knew I love ranch and was very passionate about ranch. And so I would tell them if it's good or not, and then also why I thought it was good. So why not transition to let everybody know in some sort of way? Only because I feel qualified to talk about it because I love ranch so much. But I also love to talk. So it works out well for me.
I think that's a great combination of the two. It works well.
I'm
You're
trying really hard to pare down my stuff with this so I don't hijack the plane and take off.
you're okay. You are totally fine with that. Well, so you called this kind of a passion project. So what are and we know that you've done, a lot of other things kind of in that. So how did you find that you took the idea of doing this, having the conversations you were already having, and saying then, yes, I want to share this with the world. There are a lot of different platforms out there to share information nowadays. So how did you decide, okay, the website is how I'm going to do this, socials is how I'm going to do this? How did that kind of all come together?
I think it kind of started with having Smash Tea as a starting business. So I started creating t-shirts and it wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be going forward and decided to pivot. And I pivot a lot. I think that's kind of what makes up life. But I pivoted into this passion project and pulled from the experience of running a website previously, but it kind of is different in a way that it's not a sales platform. It's not a
Mm.
sales pitch. I'm not selling something to somebody who needs to come buy something. Now, I may transition and open up a merch section in my website, but it's still going to be ranch focused, ranch based, heavily on the reviews.
Oh man, that would be fun though. The
Mhm.
merch around ranch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
so many
Sorry.
ideas. You're
Yeah.
fine.
So you mentioned, Smash Tea and having the ability to do some things underneath that. And you had a knowledge base, but how have you been gaining followers? How have you been doing traction? I'm just kind of trying to think too, like for individuals who might be listening right now and they say, I have so many ideas in my head. And I know that some of these are really good ideas and I want other people to know about them, but I don't even know how. I guess what is kind of that basic, like how? What are some of the first steps that you think about when you're going from idea in my head to idea in the universe?
It's just pulling the trigger. It's scary. It's never not scary. You're putting yourself out there, you're being vulnerable, and you don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing ever. Pretty much in anything I do. I just make it up as I go. So if I'm not going to just get started, I'm never going to do it. It'll
Mhm.
always just live in my head. I have loved Rating Ranch for my entire life. I'm turning 40 in 2 weeks. I've thought about this for, I mean, since I don't know how old I was, but this only became a thing recently because I decided to, well, why not? And I would be mad if somebody else did it. And I'm like, oh, shoot, that was my
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, because the idea, I'm gonna jump into that big ideas,
Mhm.
right? The idea gave you a chance, and if you don't grab it, it's gonna move on to somebody else.
Exactly. Somebody else can do it. So I decided to start the website, did all the business back end stuff that I needed to do. I've never built a website before. I mean, I use Shopify for Smash Tea, but that's more plug and play. I had to do a lot of learning, which, you kind of pivot those roles too. You ask a lot of questions for people, watch a lot of tutorials, become resourceful in the things that you are passionate about and want to accomplish. So that's kind of how I started this. And then also to gain some traction, I have a TikTok account where I would post dumb videos like reviews on trying a new pop flavor. Like Coke comes out with all those random flavors. But I don't know if I want to have everybody going to my personal platform to be going for the ranch reviews, but it's what I've gotten the traction on currently. I do have a dressing room TikTok, but I'm currently trying to figure that out. Anyway, I posted a video saying, I'm going to let you know if that ranch is worth it when you're going out to eat. And the comments came flooding in. I did not expect that many people to be that excited about my passion project. So much so that people are now asking to do guest reviews for their areas. So I'm trying to find a way to incorporate people to give me their reviews and have a spot for it on my website because I can't try every restaurant in every location across the US. It's impossible.
It'd be fun, but
I'm
Right.
going to
Right.
try. But I would like to capitalize on having other people out there who are also passionate about ranch. And now I know they exist because they're all in my comment section. And the responses that I'm getting within the comment section, you're doing the Lord's work. Oh, you dropped this. Here's your crown. Hilarious comments that like, I'm writing ranch. I'm not curing cancer.
you're like, I
But
found my people.
Right.
these are my people. I'm so excited that they are so excited with me.
That is absolutely amazing, and I love the tension between my personal page, the business page, and I love it not because it's a tension, but because Amy and I have asked ourselves those same questions. The people we know right now are on our personal page, but that isn't what we wanna limit any of our passion projects to, right? We want it to reach the right people, and so making that decision about how to do that, where to do that, when to maybe even make that shift is real.
I know you did kind of start then a TikTok account directing people more from your personal page to kind of the platform of the dressing room. How has that been going so far?
I can see the analytics on my end, and it is getting far more views than I ever anticipated. It's not like it's being flooded and then breaking the internet and coming down, thankfully, because I wouldn't know how to get it back up. But it is getting traction. People are looking at it. And it's the dynamic between video consumption versus reading consumption is really interesting to me. You reach a different demographic when you're doing a video about something. I did not plan or anticipate to create videos where I rate ranch. It was only going to be on my website. But then people are like, I'm going to follow you here on TikTok. This is the information I need. I'm like, oh, I have to make videos now on rating these ranches. So I'm having to like get footage and drum up kind of different types of reviews versus what I had planned on. Again, pivoting. But the traffic has been far greater than I ever anticipated on both. I've gained a couple hundred followers on TikTok. I mean, it's nothing like I've gone viral overnight and I'm up to 10,000. Eventually, hopefully, cross my fingers, I will be.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to be like. I don't know what like baseline or what goals are for that.
Well, we would love any of our listeners to go over and definitely like your page and make sure to keep those numbers going up. But you know what? You mentioned, so we're kind of talking about all of the successes that you're having right now, but I think that it's important. You really touched on a piece of information that you were vulnerable and you pulled the trigger and you did it. And you've had not every situation you've had has been an immediate success or has even been successful. So, for the people that are sitting there listening and thinking about it, would you be willing to share with us a little bit about some of the failures and what that was like, but then also why you kept coming back and kept doing the things?
So when I started Smash Tea, I was in a different place in my life where I wanted to replace my income. and I was desperate. It was coming from a place of desperation, but it was also something I went to school for graphic design. I always kind of wanted to create t-shirts. So I'm like, figure might as well merge those two paths and start that out. It was super intimidating. Again, just pulling the trigger is most of the battle. But what was hard for me with Smash Tea is I constantly felt like I was bugging people to buy something from me in order to make money off them. And I didn't like that feeling.
Mhm.
So it was hard I ran it for about 4 years, ultimately decided to take that store down because it was costing me more money than it was bringing in. And the debate in my head that I had between shutting it down, like, am I going to be seen as a failure? Are people going to be, are they going to laugh at me? Are they going to talk behind my back? I heard the quote one point that said, you will never be criticized by somebody who is doing more than you. The people that are going to criticize me are people that want to be putting themselves out there and are jealous of trying to do something that they want to do. I'm not saying they're jealous of me. I'm just saying that maybe they're not pulling that trigger. Maybe they're just trying to figure out how to do that. I needed to worry less about what people were going to think of me and worry about my mental well being and transitioning this into something else potentially. I didn't have plans when I shut down Smash Tea to open the dressing room. These were not like simultaneous things. I shut down Smash Tea over the summer and we're approaching this next summer. It's almost been a year. But I think you learn as much from your failures as you do any sort of success that you have. And learning how to pivot is a huge part of those failures. It's not necessarily a failure, it's just a redirection. And I like looking at stuff that way instead of like, well, I didn't do that right. That wasn't really what I wanted it to be, but it was a stepping stone. It helped me get to a different spot. So I think that everything kind of lines up to help boost your next thing.
We've been talking a lot as we have recorded in the last few weeks about those moments when something doesn't fit anymore and being able to embrace that growth mindset of shifting and being open to something new or something different. And I didn't expect this conversation to fit so closely with those others that we've been having, but it does. It really does. Especially the piece where you said, even at the very beginning, I need to take care of me. I need to be aware of my own mental health and how this is impacting me.
You mentioned mental health, and that's something that I would love to know. How do you take care of your mental health in the way that you are being vulnerable by being out on social media, making videos and things like that? We know that there are haters out there that always put comments, and that can really hold somebody back from jumping off into the platform that they want to be in. That it can be scary to put yourself out there. So how do you kind of take care of yourself, and hopefully you've never had the experience of a hater, but we all know that they are out there. So like, how do you do it and still kind of protect yourself in that way that might make it a little less scary for somebody else who's thinking about it?
A lot of counseling that's helped my people pleaser responses for things. I love my counselor. I have a great relationship with her. I see her every other week. She's helped me through a lot of things. I'm also a verbal processor. Not everybody is. Some people are more on the introverted, introspective side. Talking about things with my closest friends and family members helps me a lot as well. When it comes to hateful comments, I have experienced it some. I've had a lot of various avenues that I've dabbled with, YouTube being one of them, and having a makeup Instagram account as well. Somebody had reposted a makeup look that I had done with their eyeshadow. It was a brand and they reposted it. And I looked at the comments, and of course, you're going to get more hate comments on a bigger platform. And somebody was like, ew, that's ugly, or something to that effect. They did not enjoy my eye look that I had done. And that's fine. Art is subjective and makeup is art. So, had to really sit with that one for a minute. And I'm like, that does not feel good. But I don't know that person. And this is not affecting me in my day to day. So I have to remember where it's coming from and the people who post a lot of the hateful comments are more insecure than the people who are building other people up. I am a huge proponent, and I've had to do a lot of work on my own life of this. We don't tear other people down to build other people up. And I don't think a lot of people feel that same way when they're posting their keyboard warrior comment. Recognizing the place that it's coming from, sitting with it, verbally processing it with other people, and then just kind of moving on and recognizing that I would rather be known or be criticized for something that I am trying to do to better my own life, maybe other people's lives. I mean, is ranch that serious? No, but I take it seriously. So maybe
Yeah.
other
And
people do too.
clearly there are
Absolutely.
people who are loving it.
Yeah. So you got to have a really good mantra on loop in your head. Is this going to like give you more money? Honestly, though, hate comments do boost your traction. So hate on.
Hey, at least they're coming and seeing you, they're commenting on your stuff, so
Yep.
I love that idea. I love that idea that every comment is building you up even though they might be saying some but it's making it easier for other people to find you
Like,
and your
Also
people.
it builds community too, because you have other people respond to those comments that come to your defense,
yes.
that it really helps build and some people get that, like, they want to defend somebody that they see an injustice being done to. It helps build other people up. So it's like a mutually beneficial system.
Yeah. There's a couple of people that I watch and wait for new things to appear. And probably because of my own age demographic, I'm looking at reels on Facebook and Instagram, right? But, I think you just called it a keyboard warrior. They were like, it was this whole back and forth thing happening. And I just loved the video clip that the maker created that just sort of, boom, 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 here it all is. And congratulations, you just earned a top fan badge. And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah.
I
That
love that.
is great, yes. So, let's take that piece that you were just talking about with community, and so much of our show is about building that sense of community, and I know we've talked a little bit about some of the posts that you've had and, all of this, but let's talk about that sense of community, and then let's talk kind of about the expansion for the people that are out there saying, like, "Hey, I feel the same way about honey mustard or Italian dressing or other things." Like, talk
Blue
about how, like,
cheese.
it's almost become an adjacent, like, there's your key piece that you started, but through that sense of community, you've seen other people who maybe don't care about ranch, but have also gotten excited about something.
Mhm. That's why I called it the dressing room. I didn't want to limit myself to just ranch. I am passionate about ranch. Ranch is the dressing I prefer and then I'm going to consume. I don't notice the differences as much within blue cheese. I don't like it. Or honey mustard. I enjoy honey mustard, a good honey mustard, but it's not something I'm going to rate because the differences are so subtle to me that if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Ranch is just something that I'm like, I take it a personal offense to when it's bad. So I heard somebody say something like when with expansion and wanting to open it up, it's more of a movement, which I think is ridiculous, but also in the best of ways.
Yeah.
You know, movements are based on politics and civil rights and, injustices of the world, not ranch. But if we want to move together and do it, that's totally fine. Like I need all the people that I can in my community, and with branching out and trying to get more people to give me their reviews, but also in a vetting way. I don't want somebody giving me the review that Big Boy has good ranch, because that is the basis line of my nope rating, because it's that bad. You really have to go that extra mile to get that rating, and Big Boy did achieve that. So far exceeded that.
I think then we need to put the sense of community on hold for a second and come back to take us through your rating system. I know everybody needs to go over and watch it on the website and on your socials, but maybe our listeners here could have a little feel of what are we talking about with this rating system?
Yeah, so I'm doing short videos on my TikTok, my personal TikTok, sharing it to my dressing room account as well. I'm going to start with the lowest, and that is nope. That was based on Big Boys Ranch. It is so offensive to me that you would serve that and call it ranch, that I feel like I need to be financially compensated for consuming it. It makes me angry.
I
It's just so bad.
love it.
If
Yeah.
you have to question if a ranch is ranch or blue cheese, there's a
Mm.
problem. So, again, no category. The next lowest you can get is store-bought sadness. That is for the lazy people, the lazy restaurants that serve Gordon food service off the shelf, like shelf to consumption. That is, I understand it. Times are tough. Overhead, staffing, having have somebody make ranch, maybe costly. I'm not sure how the prep works, but it's the lazy way out. Most restaurants that I rate that have a bad rating is probably going to fit within the store bought sadness. I recently tried Hooters.
Mhm.
Hooters got a store bought sadness rating. Their bar food, top tier, far surpassed my expectations. Their ranch was so terrible. I packed up my food to eat it at home with the bottle of Jets that I purchased. So it was much better.
I love it. And I'm going to interrupt you for a quick
Yeah.
second because I saw both of those TikTok videos that you made as I wanted to understand the rating system. And literally, when you got to the store bought sadness, all I could picture in my head were the residential restaurants on campus where, you can see the big old jugs with the pump on it and they're just, filling it up as fast as they can.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, and I said it earlier, but like, I really do think if you just took a little bit of time to make a product that somebody, I mean, we can tell that people are passionate about their ranch. So I would order probably more food. I don't need to, but I would just to like have that vehicle to get that ranch into my mouth. I look forward to consuming a top notch rating. So after store bought sadness, I have It'll Do. A restaurant that I rated that got It'll Do is Applebee's. Their ranch didn't taste straight shelf purchased, but it wasn't that top tier category, those two that I have next, that really did it for me. Their ranch doesn't excite me. It's not like I really want to go in and eat a salad because I want to get the most amount of ranch that I can get. I do like their french fries, so I will eat it, but it's not something that is that memorable. So that's the It'll Do. It gets the job done. Second to the top is runner up. That's reserved for the places that I would gauge that most of the reviews are going to fall within those three categories: the runner up, It'll Do, and store bought sadness. The top and the lowest are kind of reserved for those extra special things that put them there. But the runner up is the run of the mill Hidden Valley Ranch packet type of ranch. You mix the mayonnaise, you mix the milk in the packet, you call it good. That's a pretty decent ranch. And I'm happy with that. I am happy when I get that served to me at a restaurant. That is quality. The top one, which is my top notch rating, Jets is a gold standard, I would say, for for ranch that people love the most. My comments section is flooded with recommendation, and I would say 75% of them is telling me to go rate Jets Ranch. Of course, I've already tried it. Of course, I know it's delicious.
It's
I
in your
finally
fridge.
just,
Yeah.
yes. So I did just do the review on it because I have it in my fridge now. I was able to test it formally, but it didn't taste just Hidden Valley Packet Ranch. It tasted like there was something a little bit extra. I would say the element of love put into their ranch. They actually care about what we're consuming, but also they pride themselves on having a good ranch. And when you're competing against other restaurants, why not have that competitive edge of having something that is so widely known as having something that's good?
So you made me think that if you're listening to this and you're a restaurant and you want your ranch rated,
Ooh,
that somebody should definitely go to your socials, and that not only should you have the kind of group, maybe even on your website, you should have a like, why should I come and try your ranch and get on there.
a
That could be
nice
another
little
way.
form, a nice little form for the restaurant owner to fill out or the chef or whoever to fill out to say, "Hey,
Hmm.
come
Right.
rate
We got
me."
something special that you need to come see.
Yeah, I would love that. I do have a form on my website. You can look at it or find it in the review section. And also, it just goes directly to my email, dressingapproved@gmail.com, and email me straight there too.
Love,
That's
love, love
good.
it. Ashley, I feel like we should offer you that last chance to, I don't know, is there anything you want people to know that we haven't asked you already?
I would just say, for anybody who's listening, thinking about doing something, there's probably somebody else who's thinking about that too. If you want to be passed up and watch somebody else do something that you're passionate about, fine. But if you don't, then pull the trigger. Also, if somebody is already doing something that you want to be doing too, there is space for you to do it. T-shirts are not a revolutionary idea of making, a themed T-shirt of some sort, but there's still a space for you. People buy T-shirts from more than one spot. People can go out. Somebody commented on my post saying, "I wish I would have thought of this." You can do it too. I don't have the market on this. You can also go out and rate anything else that you would like to do. It's just the passion I have of mine. So if you are holding yourself back, find a way to pull that trigger. If you want encouragement, email me. I can find it for you and tell you about all the things that I screwed up along the way. But they're just pivoting moments. I learned from them and then I move on.
I cannot wait to see all of the ranch merch and the amazing t-shirts that I just can already visualize people walking around and wearing inside of your community and, gifting to the ranch lovers in their lives. And I love the advice because there's so many things you think are supposed to be easy and then they're not. And then there are the things that maybe are a lot intimidating, right? They're intimidating enough that you just don't take the step into the dream that you have. And really appreciate that you shared that. Pull the trigger. Just go out there and do it. What a great piece of advice.
Yeah, you're fooled by the people who are doing it, making it look easy. None of this has ever been easy. And the people who make it look like that also went through struggles. So just try it. It may not be for you. You may not actually like it, but maybe you do.
What does it hurt to try?
Hmm.
Like, you build a community while you do it, and then they can encourage you.
I love that. I think that's a great idea and probably a great place to end things. So thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate it. Not only learning about ranch more than I think I ever thought about it before, but also all your ideas about successes and failures and where to go next and how to just try things. So thank you so
So much
much.
for having me.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks.
I really appreciate getting the opportunity.
Thanks for tuning in to This Was Supposed to Be Easy. Remember, the best stories are the ones we live.
Join us next time as we uncover more tales and thoughts that just might change your world while we navigate those things that we didn't expect to be so hard.
Stay curious, stay connected, and keep wondering.